Welcome to Permission to Shine, the space where high-achieving women like you come to peel back the layers, overcome what's been holding you back, and rise into your most authentic, powerful self. I'm your host, Sharice Bisram, inner power activation leader and intuitive healer, and a woman who knows what it means to look like she's thriving on the outside, also while feeling disconnected on the inside. This podcast is here to remind you, you didn't come here to just perform, you came here to lead with your soul. Your obstacles, they're invitations to expand. And your power, it was never outside of you. It's been waiting within you all along. Each week we'll dive into honest conversations, healing insight and soul-led strategies to help you stop self-sabotaging, reclaim your light and lead your life, your business and your relationships from deep-rooted truth. So if you're ready to rise with grace, softness and fire, you're in the right place. Let's get into it. Hello, my loves. So today I really want to talk about visibility because I feel like it's on the edge of everyone's lips, isn't it? All of the time, we're always talking about how can we be more visible, how can we be more seen, and all of those things. And I feel like now in this Aries stellium supercharged frequency, it's really asking us, what are we here to initiate, begin, start? All of those things. And so, yeah, I just felt like it was the right time to really dive into visibility and why I think it matters. So if I look at it from an astrological lens for myself and why visibility has played such an important part of my life is because I'm a Leo sun and Leo rising with a first house stellium. The first house is all about identity. And so having all of those planets in that house basically means that I'm supposed to be seen, right? And when people see me living in my truth, embodying what I say, they are more likely to either invest in me or trust me because they can see me following that and living as an example, right? So I feel like it's quite a natural thing for me to be seen, but it hasn't always been sunshine and rainbows. And you know, with being seen, the shadow side of that is being judged, right? And I think that's what so many of you are afraid of. More than anything, you are afraid of being judged. And that in itself is the most debilitating place to be in, because the truth is people are going to judge you no matter what you do. No matter what you say, they have made up a story about you. And so it's up to you whether you want to live your life trying to change the perceptions of people that have already made up a judgment of you, or if you want to just do what you're going to do anyway and let them judge. You know, they're the only two options, or the option where you do absolutely nothing and then, you know, you let your dream pass you. That's it, right? You either choose to do it anyway and get judged, or adhere to other people's expectations of you. And for me, I have felt judgment my whole life, no matter what I've done, you know. Even as a little girl walking home from school, I'd get people wind down their window, driving past me and shout out racist stuff. Like, I've always been judged. And especially in the area that I grew up in, I was one of the only brown faces, always, you know. So people are always having a preconceived notion of what they thought of me just from the way I looked, right? And so if you see me talk on stage, you'll know that I always talk about how I've transmuted that experience into my power, because, you know, I am Larry. I do wear bright and bold things, right? And so I guess I'm okay with being seen because I've always been seen anyway, you know? So why not get seen because I want to be, and to command being seen on my terms, as opposed to trying to blend in and not. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is the thing for me. And I know everyone is different at that. And you might be someone that, you know, quite easily blends into situations and you like it that way. That's great, right? But if you want to be that next level version of yourself where people know who you are, they come up to you, they ask you to join in, they want to be in your world, then it is going to require you to get outside of your comfort zone, right? And I think that even for me, someone who's naturally visible, because obviously I'm normally the one that's just the odd one out, really. Um, Me really leaning all the way into that, the audacity that I have in my clothing choices, but also personality, Like when I was a dancer professionally, and obviously I was dancing in the clubs as well, and also on stages and things like that, and choreographing and all of those things. When I used to go out with my friends, I used to not want the attention. I used to be like, no, I don't need to overly dance. I don't need to show off because I don't need that attention. Now, if I do go out with my friends and a song that I like comes on, I'm shaking it, right? And that is not for anyone else. That is for me. And I had a conversation the other day with someone about like my photos, my professional photos that I use for my marketing sometimes. And they're basically saying, oh, are these, what are they for? And I just said, look, my stuff, all of my stuff is not for the male gaze. Like even on my social media, I probably could count the amount of men that I have on my social media because my Instagram is for women. Yeah, that's what it's for. So if men are going to look at it and actually, want to just admire me, go ahead, right? But this is not for you. This is for women. And why it's important is that I used to judge my body. I used to only see beauty in a certain way, as in like the stereotypical what was beautiful on magazines and all of the things. So, God forbid that I feel confident in myself and I'm going to share my photos where I look great as representation and as the embodiment of do it anyway. So I feel like, yeah, there's a level of audacity I think that you need to have when you really want to be really truly seen. Now, I'm talking about all the surface level stuff at the moment, but let's flip it. When we talk about the inner world. I always say my clothes are an external manifestation of how I feel internally. Again, like, don't get me wrong, like on a level, day to day, I'm in gym clothes or tracksuits. That's just how I roll, right? But if I'm going out somewhere, I'm dressed like a supermodel because I bloody want to be, right? But either way, I still feel good. I want to be comfortable. My gym stuff most of the time is brightly coloured anyway. And I do that because, well, I want to, right? There's no other justification for that. But that work that I did inwardly, again, even if we talk about body image as women, yes, there is this thing as pretty privilege, and I will fully take accountability for that. But again, I didn't feel pretty my whole life. I didn't feel like I woke up and I was a beauty standard at the end and that's it. Now I am, and I'm fully aware of that. And that is a privilege that I get to have. But let me have one, please. Like these are the things that we all have privileges of some extent. We can't use them as barriers. We have to lean all the way forward. And it's all about your perception of you, because I always talk about how I was 23 years old, maybe a bit younger than that. Maybe I was 21, 22. And I used to just absolutely criticize the shit out of myself. And I used to spend hours doing my makeup for, work and performances. And I still just felt really hollow. And I remember my mum telling me every day, like, she's like, but you're so beautiful. She's like, all of my friends think you're beautiful. I'm like, but you're my mum. You have to tell me I'm beautiful. And then it was a couple of times I used to be a shop girl, and some of the ladies that I met in the club were like, "Oh my God, you're stunning." And I would be like, they're just being nice. And then one day I stopped and I thought about it. I thought, I've heard people tell me this now about, a couple of times in one day. Maybe they are right, and maybe it's me. And so I started to change how I was thinking about myself, and that made a world of difference. I think as well, the fact that I've been single for a lot of the time in my life, I actually thought a lot of it was because I was ugly as well, and this is true for full transparency here, but it wasn't. It was my wall, my emotional wall. I kept everyone out because I didn't want to let anyone in, emotionally. I didn't want to let anyone know what my inner world was thinking because I was really mean to myself. I always felt like I wasn't good enough. I always felt like I had to try harder. I always felt like I was never going to be chosen. And it's interesting because now being in a position where I feel so content in who I am, like absolutely, fully just okay with the way things are with myself, and just knowing that everything is evolving as it's supposed to. Like, I'll be honest with you, like I said from the start, if you've been listening to my podcast, I'm not a six, seven-figure business owner. I'm not. I know eventually I'll get there, but money's never been the motivation for me, right? But if I wanted it to be, I would get there quicker. I absolutely would, right? But I'm building sustainability and with integrity because, more than anything, I want women to feel great about working with me. I don't want anyone to feel like they were pressured into it or that they didn't get the results they wanted because I pitched them this reality that doesn't exist. Like that's never the work that I do. The work I do is about completely transforming your life on a subconscious level so that you can live the life that you truly deserve in full happiness and embodiment of everything that you're here to be. And, as a byproduct of working with me, you do naturally fall pregnant if that's something that you want to do and be as well. Your business plans take off because you trust yourself fully. There's all of these beautiful full life experiences that happen. Relationships get stronger, friendships grow and evolve. Like there's so many beautiful life things that happen through working with me. And that's what I want to be known for. That's my legacy. I always leave people better than when I found them. And that's such a beautiful thing that I get to give to this world. But if I wanted to push just for money, I mean, I don't even want to do that. That feels icky to me, right? So I can't remember what the point of that was, but I feel like the intention of like why we do things, right? So you may be listening to this thinking, right, I do want to make six, seven figures a year. Great. Maybe you want it that month. That's even better. Good for you. But what's going to help you to do that? You getting out of your own way. Whatever your goal is, have a think right now. What would visibility do for me? And I don't want you to think about Kathy down the road that does the school run. I want you to think about, like, as in like the judgment of her. But on a larger scale, if people that needed you right now could see you, what an impact would that make for you? Because if there isn't one, maybe you don't want to be visible. Maybe your goal in life isn't visibility. And then for you, if it's a business thing, maybe you do a faceless business, right? Where you're not the face of it. But if you do want to be speaking on stages and sharing your story, or if you do want to walk into a room and people are naturally magnetized towards you, then there is a part of you that needs to open up and also let your guard down. Like, when I'm talking then about the fact that I was always judged and all those things, like that's, and even when it came to, relationships, whether they're romantic or friendship, no one really knew me, because I was always performing this like act to people about being confident and being reliable and all the things when really internally I was barely keeping myself afloat. I would drive to uni every single day, get stuck in traffic and just cry my eyes out the whole way. It's like an hour and a half to 2 hour journey, right? Every day, cry my eyes out. And it's funny, on the way back, I never was crying because I was happy because I'd been dancing all day. But on the way there, I just fucking hated my life, if I'm honest. Do you know what I mean? So it's one of those things that it's yeah, the shadow of visibility is the fact that, like I said, you'll be judged. You have to face the parts of yourself that you're worried about. Like if you have skeletons in your closet, maybe you can start by sharing like one tiny little thing about it. And that's going to have a knock-on effect of like people being able to reach you just a little bit deeper. Because I think now, more than anything, we're talking about this trust recession in business, but even in life in general, right? And I think that people really feel integrity. And I say that all the time because obviously a lot of the work that I do is with teenagers. And if I come into a teenage space and I'm like, hi everyone, so we're gonna do this, they're gonna be like, who is this woman? Right? Put on this voice and like put on this attitude. Whereas, when I come in, I'm like, hi, my name's Charisse. This is what we're here to do. They feel it. They're like, yeah, this lady's cool. Yeah. It's funny calling myself a lady, but I am. Uh, so yeah, I think that I feel like, what are you afraid of? If all it is judgment, then I feel like that's just human, right? And if we took that and like really, really dissected it into like micro little pieces of judgment, really pull it apart, you know, the opinion of others matters more to me than my own success and dreams. Wow, you know? And if you flip this on its head and you looked at it in a different way and like imagine there's like these people, which are probably, I'll be honest with you, you think there's like a massive like crowd of people that are judging you. It's probably just like one or two people. It's probably like, I don't know, maybe your mum, maybe a parent, maybe people from school, like a couple of little handfuls of people that will actually judge you. Because I promise you, everyone else in your life that actually does love you wants you to win. They want you to show up. They want you to wear that sassy outfit and be like, damn, girl, you look amazing. You know, if you need any more, reassurance of that, go to a bar with people you don't know, like as in like just turn up and go in the girls' toilets, and I can guarantee you there'll be a team of women in there ready to say, "Oh my God, girl, you look unreal." That's just how we are, right? And if your circle isn't doing that for you, you've got the wrong group of friends, my love. And that's the truth. And I'm not telling you to eradicate all your friends, but what I'm saying is that sometimes we think that the block is within us. Sometimes it's even in our circle, right? And it's about being radically self-aware. We're not blaming people, but what we are being aware of is the fact that maybe other people are projecting their stuff onto us, and that's the problem. Maybe you grew up with a mum that was really self-conscious, and so she wouldn't wear anything that was too much, and she wouldn't put outfits together that like you would. I've had to, all of my friends and all of my family know that I wear weird combinations. They've said it to me from the very beginning, right? Like they'll always say to me, I could never wear that the way you wear it. My whole life, I've been told that, right? But I would wear it anyway, you know? So even like if I text my sister a couple of outfit choices, she'll always go for one that's a little bit more softer, a little bit more relaxed, whereas obviously I want the audacious version. And they always say to me, they're like, Charisse, you're gonna wear that one anyway, so why do you even bother asking? And I don't know why. It's just like a nice like thing. I feel like it's part of my going out sequence that I ask for people like, do you like this too, maybe? And again, even if they don't like it, I'm still going to wear it. So it's just a funny thing, isn't it? But I feel like that's part of girlhood. And I think, as much as this is about you and how you feel about you, get yourself a circle of cheerleaders because you deserve that. And if you need a bloody circle, a new one, hit me up, girl. I'm here to cheer you on. So if you're not following me on social media, make sure you do, because I'll follow you back and I'll be cheering up for you the whole way through. And a lot of this again comes down to our inner child work. And, like I said, if you had a mum that was insecure and she's been hard on herself her whole life, you've just adopted that. That's the way it is. Or if you've never seen anyone do the things that you want to do in your life, that's again a childhood experience that you didn't think was possible for you. And so that little girl is leading your life right now. And it's time for you to say, hey, my love, we're safe. We're safe to be seen. It's okay, you know? So, with all this being said, I have created a beautiful free visualization for you, and it's the visibility activation. So it's going to really show you what is your block. What's the thing that's been holding you back internally? And once you understand that, you'll be able to transmute it and then step forward in a new way. And you can listen to it over and over and over again. But I just feel like it's a really beautiful way of you understanding yourself deeper and being able to, yeah, show up for yourself, more than anything. So, yeah, I want you to win. I want you to be seen if that's what you want for you, you know? So I'm sending you so much love. And yeah, the link to that is in my description of this episode. And I'm just wishing you a really beautiful week. Step fully into this energy. We're about to enter Taurus season now, so it's going to ground in everything that we've been moving through in the Aries season. And yeah, send you lots of love. Thank you for listening to this week's episode. Please do like, follow, and share with a woman that you know needs to hear these words today. The more women that get to listen, the more impact and change and transformation I get to make into this world, and the light in you shines on others. So sharing that forward is absolutely the mission of this. This is how we all give and get and receive the permission to fully shine. I also have some really incredible things happening this year. I'm hosting the second She Rises event in April. So if you want to find out more about that, click the link in the description. And I'm now newly launching my first ever group program that is called Unforgettable. And it's taking you from performing visibility to embodied authority. So whether that's host your own podcast, or being on stage, or being the leader of your field, and you're ready to fully embody this version of you that has this dream and ambition, that you know the limiting beliefs, the childhood experiences, the generational trauma that has stopped you and prevented you from fully stepping into who you came here to be. This is the space where we get to write a new story, a new chapter in your life. And I'm so excited to hold that space for you. And as always, if you're looking for one-to-one guidance and support, drop me a message, because there's always spaces available for you. And send you so much love.